Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Tales from Antiquity and the Modern Age with Pragmatic Perfection. I'm your host, Austin, and I don't know why I'm doing a Western accent. That is just stupid. I don't know what got into me there. I apologize for that if it offended you somehow. I know, we live in a modern age. Everyone gets really offended super easily. But back to what this show is actually about stories, and entertaining ones with a message on top of that. What we got here today is another one from Aesop. Also, one I've never heard of before, or it's been so long I've forgotten it. And it is titled The Salt Merchant and His Ass. No, get your mind out of the gutter. We're not talking his derriere, we are talking his donkey. Or as Gordon Ramsay would say, donkey! Enough messing around, let's get into it. The Salt Merchant and His Ass. A peddler drove his ass to the seashore to buy salt. His road home lay across a stream, into which his ass, making a false step, fell by accident and rose up again with his load considerably lighter, as the water melted the sack. The peddler retraced his steps and refilled his panniers with a larger quantity of salt than before. When he came again to the stream, the ass fell down on purpose in the same spot, and regaining his feet with the weight of the load much diminished, brayed triumphantly, as if he had obtained what he had desired. The peddler saw through this trick, and drove him for a third time to the coast, where he bought a cargo of sponges instead of salt. The ass, again playing the fool, fell down on purpose when he reached the stream, but the sponges became swollen with water, greatly increasing his load. And thus his trick recoiled on him, for now he carried on his back a double burden. The end. Well, this story, I think, has one maxim to take away, and that is, don't be lazy. I mean, come on, think about it. He was lazy, and it ended up being more work for him in the end. Not only did he end up carrying a double burden, as it says in that last line there, but on top of that, he had to do 3 trips. That first time they went to the river, it was the accident. Had to go back, so that's an extra trip. Then when they got to that river again, he pulled his stunt, and they had to go back again. And then they had to make that final leg, which is the third time they're doing that part of the trip. So for being such a smarty boy, or maybe we'll call him a smart ass. Please don't leave the show. Please, I'm sorry. I won't say that again. For being such a wise ass. Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. It's come back on his own head because he's done more work, and it's even heavier load, and it's totally worked against him in the end. And so you could almost say it's kind of like karma, like what goes around comes around, because this donkey, trying to be so smart and play a trick, has had that trick come around now with his master, the salt merchant, playing a trick on him. So Aesop, he was definitely on that karma grind, that whole karma trend, way before it became popular here in the Western culture. So the man knew how to, he could see those trends coming a mile off. Miles off. So, to come to the technical part of the show, nothing really changed yet in the setup or the editing style, but this is actually my second podcast I've recorded today because I am pre-recording this episode. You're going to hear it on Friday, April 27th, 2018, but it's actually being recorded April 26th, on Thursday, at 7 o'clock in the morning. And yes, I'm back to my morning recording schedule, and seems to be working much better, because it's not hot in the afternoon. I mean, it gets hot here in California, and when I get hot, I get grumpy, and I get a little fatigued, and when I'm grumpy and fatigued, the content is just not quite there. So, without further elaborating on that, yeah, definitely the morning times is the place to be for my recording. And maybe it's the place to be for you too. You got to try it out, see what works for you. All right, well, bringing that all to a close, I want to thank you for listening. Appreciate you taking your time here with me today, a few minutes. I really thank you for doing that. And if you enjoy the show, leave a comment, leave a like if that's possible. Maybe for the people on YouTube, you can do that. And we'll just keep on doing what we're doing. And I'll make the stuff. Hopefully you have a fun time listening to it. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care.